He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Viktor Frankl. Imagine you wake up in a pitch black tunnel. You don't know how deep you are, you don't know where the exit is, you don't even know how you got here. But instead of trying to figure it out, you start doing push-ups because you're a hustle culture goblin. So now, day in and day out, you're grinding in the dark. No one can deny you're working hard, but you're probably also not going anywhere. And that's the problem. Discipline matters, work ethic matters. But without direction, without motivation, effort turns into noise. Step 1, find your why. Okay, so maybe skip the push-ups in a pitch black tunnel, unless that's your thing, no judgment. But before you start grinding, ask yourself, why do you want to get out of this tunnel? Psychologists have found that the most lasting motivation stems from one of three sources. Pain-based, to escape something you regret or fear. Future-based, to grow, improve, and become someone better. Or service-based, to help others or contribute to something bigger than yourself. Maybe you wasted time. You spent years scrolling, partying, coasting. You did the bare minimum in school, avoided risk because safe felt correct. And now, you're watching people around you take off. New jobs, new cities, new lives, while you're stuck asking yourself, what did you even do the last 4 years? Maybe you've dreamed of being an actor. Every time you imagine yourself getting on stage, you finally feel alive, like your life was worth something. Or maybe you just wanted to make your parents proud. Show them all the care they poured into you wasn't for nothing, that it meant something, and maybe one day return the favor. Regardless whether your motivation is pain-based, future-based, or service-based, I'm sure you can find something that resonates with you. It doesn't have to be a grand ambition. It just has to be something. Something simple, an unresolved regret, a promise to a friend, a desire to become a better person. Once you figure that out, what you need to do becomes a lot more clear. Maybe after finding out your why, you see a faint light at the end of the tunnel. Now you know where to go. Step 2, stack small wins. Most days, when you look at the light of the tunnel, it doesn't actually get brighter. In fact, little steps taken towards most goals feel so inconsequential that you might as well have not done them. Most progress doesn't feel like progress, and that's why it's so easy to quit. But as James Clear from Atomic Habits puts it, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Not the dramatic 3 a.m. promise to finally turn your life around. Not the all or nothing, from now on I'm grinding speech. It's the quiet vote to sit and write instead of scroll TikTok because you're becoming a writer. The vote to go for a run instead of collapsing on the couch because you're becoming someone who moves. Humans aren't robots. We need to feel like our effort means something. And when we don't see results, we get disappointed. When goals feel too far, we get impatient. Grinding without any sense of reward might look impressive, but it's not sustainable. The key idea of small wins is about framing. Not, I took one step in a 1,000-mile journey. More like, I said I'd take a step today, and that's exactly what I did. And when you follow through, your brain gives you a dopamine hit. A little reward. It's like your brain saying, nice, that mattered. And with this dopamine, this little bit of fuel, you can take another step again tomorrow. In psych terms, that's called competence, one of the key parts of the self-determination theory. Basically, we need to feel like we're getting better at stuff, even if it's just a little. Step 3, I exited the tunnel, now what? What a lot of people don't understand is that motivations can change. And just because it changes doesn't mean your initial motivation was any less fake or less meaningful. Maybe you made it out of the tunnel. You became the actor you always dreamed of. And now you don't know what to climb towards. You're asking what's next. Or maybe you found some weird glowing mushroom down in the tunnel and decided, screw the exit, let's see where this goes. The point is, your motivation isn't a contract, it's a compass. It points somewhere meaningful right now, and that might shift as you grow. See, not all motivation is built the same. Some of it pulls you, some of it pushes you, External motivation is when you're doing something for a reward, money, approval, status, or to avoid punishment. It's a solid starting point, but it can be fragile. It's like renting discipline, not owning it. You borrow society's values, copy common desires, and pick the ones that make the most sense to you. But those things are hard to build an identity around because they're not really yours. However, over time, the same action can start to feel different. You run not to impress anyone, but because you like the feeling of movement. You write not for praise, but because not writing feels worse. That's internal motivation, and once it kicks in, things begin to change. Psychologists call this a motivational spectrum, from external to intrinsic. The further you move towards the internal side, the more stable and sustainable your motivation becomes. You don't have to start with the pure reason. Maybe you begin with ego, regret, or revenge. That's fine. Let it pull you. But over time, let it evolve. Let your why grow up with you. Because when your motivation becomes internal, you don't need tricks or hacks anymore. You do the thing because that's who you are. So yeah, find your why. Take a step. Eat the weird mushroom if it calls to you. Just don't go back to doing push-ups in the dark.